So this is our 11'6", and what I designed this for was to be an all-around board. So it surfs waves really well, but at the same time it's a great flat water cruiser, and it has really, really good glide. Early on, before everybody started getting fancy with the 12'6s and the 14-footers, this was actually a very competitive board in the early races. Like, guys were winning on this consistently, which blew me away. I knew it was a matter of time before the real race boards came out. Now those seem to be the fastest. But with that said, this still is a very good, user-friendly family board that has good glide, and it surfs really well as well. So yeah. Again, with all of our designs, I take stability into account first and foremost. So it's a very stable design, and in the surf, it's not the most performance design, but it's very easy for a beginner wave rider to catch waves and have a good time, and it lends itself to, like myself, I absolutely love this 11'6" for wave riding, because I love walking the board and doing like traditional type turns and
like what size waves have you ridden on this?
Walking up to the nose. I've ridden probably up to about 6 feet Hawaiian, but
on the North Shore.
On the North Shore, but I felt like it was a little bit too much for me, too much volume. But in the smaller surf, like up to, I'd say, 3 to 4 feet, really fun, just awesome. Because
so like head high,
incredible. Like out here, Waikiki, awesome work. Like I said, it's more of a traditional turn, very smooth, and then you can walk up to the nose, ride the nose for a while, walk back, have a ham sandwich.
Looks like you put a windsurf mount in here, huh?
Yep. Well, initially I did it for a handle, so I could actually insert a handle in here, and that was before you could actually stick your hand inside the mounted handles. But also we use that for a windsurfer. If somebody wants to windsurf this board, they can put a sail on there and either send the kids out or go out themselves. And actually last summer I learned how to windsurf on one of these things. And it was by chance. I came in from a paddle, and a friend of mine had his windsurf rig on the beach, and I go, hey, can I put it on and let me go out? And kind of got hooked on windsurfing for the summer, so it was good fun.
So you kind of use more of almost a traditional longboard shape on this, huh?
Yep.
Really wide nose.
And again, that kind of
wide tail
says a lot about the surfing. It's more of a traditional surfing feel. So and that, I love that style of riding as well.
What type of construction is this?
This is AST. It has it's a EPS core with a composite layup, and then has an AST skin on it. So it's very durable. Like, you can drag it up the beach.
Similar to a soft top.
Not really. It's actually, the soft top has a wraparound deck, foam deck. We've gotten away from that. We're just going, just the decking on the deck. But as far as the AST goes, it's just super durable. I've seen guys run them into the rocks and, only scratches. So,
what's the bottom like on this?
Bottom? We have a medium rocker, nothing too extreme. I wanted to keep that stability I was talking about in the board, but I gave it a nice curve so it does turn. You get back on the tail and you can actually, redirect fairly easy with this board. I gave it a slight V, which starts in the center all the way through the tail, and again, it just kind of gives it, once you step on that tail, it's very easy to redirect the board.
So you're running a pretty big fin in there, huh?
Yep. For two reasons. One, well, actually 3, stability does help the board stay really stable. The other thing is flat water. If you have to paddle once on one side and then the other and keep redirecting with your paddle, it's kind of a hassle. So we found with a bigger, rakier fin, you could take more strokes per side before you had to switch. So you get a nice, even workout. And in the surf, this works really well when you're nose riding. So, you come off the bottom, get in your trim, and you can walk up to the nose, and the tail wants to, if you're up on the nose, it wants to lift out, and if it does, the more fin you have back there, the better off you're going to be. So we found this fin to be perfect for this design.
It's a little bit of a bevel or something, huh? On the
belly and the nose,
yeah.
Actually, this was to, to keep the volume in the board, but actually, thin out towards the nose, but also has function to keep that nose from bearing as easy. If this just continues straight up, it would be really easy to sink the nose. But as it is, if you're dropping into a wave, that having that extra kick in it, it actually hits and then planes out of it as opposed to penetrating. Another good thing with this too is the nose riding. Once you're up there perched, that little bit of rocker actually helps keep you planing across the wave. So very functional. And I kept a nice soft rail through most of the board, for that surfing feel. And then started my hard edge about 1/3 of the way up from the tail, and that's for that nice release. So, you do get that glide, you get, and when you're on the waves, it's fast as well.